Justin Fields, former Bears quarterback, former Steelers quarterback, has found a
What?
new home at the New York Jets.
Yes, sir.
Cashing in 2 years, $40 million, man. After having a great season in the beginning of the season, then he got benched by Russ, but that man handled business like a big dog supposed to. Now you got your own team again. What we doing?
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers gone. Hey, you the man. Hey,
That's tough.
you had a little couple glimpses of greatness over there with the Steelers, man. Even though you didn't have much offensively, you made that stuff run. It looked good. How we feeling about Justin Fields going to the Jets?
Oh, meaning if he can succeed or not, it depends on one's definition of success.
Can you go to the playoffs? Can you win more games than last year? What it was, 5 games last year?
It
So
was
I'm
bad.
thinking, I'm thinking they're doing more than that. But they got rid of freaking all your offensive weapons, really.
Yeah, well, that could.
Devontae Adams is gone. You know, a lot of those guys are gone now.
You got younger. You got a lot younger. You'll be all right. You have a
Mhm.
new coach, new foundation, new culture. Everything's changing. But I think that when we're talking about if Justin Fields and how he's going to do on the Jets, it depends on how we're looking at it. If you say playoffs, I think they'll fall just short of the playoffs probably this year, but I think they can string some wins together. But it depends on how the Jets are going to be as a football team. So bringing in Justin Fields, there's a lot of elements in play here. Number one, this is an obvious rebuild, and you got a first year head coach and staff, and shit's going to take time to marinate.
Mhm.
Number two, you're replacing the great Aaron Rodgers, and that's
Mhm.
tough to follow footsteps with. We can say washed all we want, but washed is still top 10 statistically in the NFL, even last year.
Mhm.
Check it.
Right.
Look it
Right.
up.
Right.
Fact check me, please. Thank you.
Mhm.
That wasn't to you, that was to the viewers. They knew who I'm talking to.
Mhm. Talk to him.
And the third thing that I'm looking at is the offensive line play in New York has just been abysmal, man. They're the league worst rushing attack last season, top two, bottom two in the league in the rushing attack, and their pass blocking is not exactly stellar either, allowing like 40 some sacks last season on Rodgers. So, but
Mhm.
basically, if they're going to be successful on this team, Aaron Glenn has got to turn the Jets into a run dominant Michigan football style offense. Is what you have to do. That's where you're going to get the most success out of Fields. He's not that quarterback that you're going to drop back 40, 50 times. You don't want him doing that. He can throw the ball, but you don't want to overplay your hand too much with him. He does have
Right. Mhm.
limitations apparently. He's not trust. They don't let him throw a lot.
Right.
And they didn't let him throw a lot in Pittsburgh. We learned that last year. He's had a in his first 6 games last year, they started 4-2. This man threw for 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, one pick. He had a
Mhm.
QBR rating of 93.3 and added like 280 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. And they
Mhm.
went 4-2 in those 6 games. Then they
That's
benched
it.
him. That was the best start of the 6 games of his career, and then he got benched.
By
So
far. By
he's
far.
just starting to open up his potential. I think they can do good on the Jets, but with that being said, you have to commit, I feel like, to a run heavy, dominant offense. And you
Mhm.
got to get the linemen to do that because from what I seen last year, I just don't see that happening, man.
Mhm.
You have capable running back in Brees Hall. Who's
Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen is a
Mhm.
very fucking stud number two right behind him. Had a
Right.
strong ass rookie year last year. I don't think he got enough opportunities. I look for him to get more this year. You have the guys that can pound that shit. You just got to get the guys that's gonna be tough and pave the way up front, man. You got to get some dogs in there. You got to get some savages. You got to get some Richie Incognitos in there.
Right. I don't know about that, but I like where you're going with run first structure. You gotta almost be like the Ravens. You gotta take a play out of the Ravens playbook. You know, you gotta build that stuff up or whatever. Like you said with the running backs, that man, that can be strong, bro. Because you know, Braylon Allen, whatever, he started taking the majority of the carries because Brees Hall was getting beat up, bro. Like, man,
Yeah, he
they were
was.
trying to run that man so much. Like, man, I can't do this shit all day. You feel me? They were letting Braylon Allen get in that stuff, and he can catch out the backfield or whatever. And it's the small stuff that's gonna be more effective or whatever. Fast plays. Gotta keep that stuff fast. Gotta keep that stuff rolling. You feel me? No huddle. You know, keeping that stuff going like that. And I feel like Aaron Glenn can make that stuff happen. And if you get her defense stout, I feel like that stuff would be really nice or whatever to see how they kind of put that stuff together, man. Like I said, Raven style offense. You know what I'm saying? Defense, I feel like the defense gonna be fine because you got one of the juggernauts over there. You feel me? And the head coach. But just putting that stuff together, whatever on the offense, you got to do something. I don't care if it's like a wildcat, even a couple plays, gadget plays. It got to be something fresh that hasn't
Yeah,
been
you're gonna have some
seen.
tricky shit in there. You got to. And I think we'll know a lot more about their plans based on what they do in the draft next month, obviously.
Right.
They go lineman heavy. We know that they are all in, invested on the
Line.
lineman defense. You can work the skill players out at another time. You got Garrett Wilson over there still.
Right.
He ain't went nowhere. Brees
hmm
Hall is a playmaker. Get another receiver in there. That's really all you
That's
need. Get a
it.
decent. They're gonna have to get a solid tight end though, like a very dependable tight end. Not
Right.
even sure off the top of my head who they got over there right now, but that's going to be vital. Fields definitely is going to need a fucking pivotal tight end. They could go
hmm
fucking tight end in this draft. We'll really
Right.
know what kind of offense. We'll get a better understanding after the draft. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I feel like if they commit to that run heavy offense, the defense is going to be fine for the Jets.
Right.
It more often than not is always usually. So I'm not so much worried about that. Like you said, Aaron Glenn, defensive minded guy. He's going to have that defense
He's gonna
intact.
have that
So this
stuff on
month.
lock, right? That's day one. That's day
Yeah.
one. Offenses and stuff that you really need to worry about because you got to deal with Buffalo and you got to deal with Miami, and you never know what the Patriots are gonna do because they didn't just spend $230 million or whatever on new
Oh
offense and defense.
man, they
They
broke the
always
bank.
they always throwing the bag at people, whatever, man. Like a couple years ago, they had Hunter Hearst and all those guys or whatever, and freaking Judon and all those guys threw all that money at them boys.
Hmm.
Didn't work out, whatever. Guess what? We got all this money back. Guess what? Oh, we're gonna throw it at y'all ass again. For real. Let's make some
Exactly.
shit work. You feel me? So you can never count the Patriots out or whatever, because you know they're gonna be playing tough regardless, especially with the new head coach, Matt Patricia.
Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel. That's
Mike
what I meant
Vrabel,
to say.
not
Yeah, Mike
Patricia.
Vrabel. Yeah, Mike Vrabel.
Don't
Mike
bring up that
Vrabel.
cancerous name again. It's
Uh,
memories. But it's so interesting you bring up the Patriots and how they broke the bank this year as opposed to last year. What do they have in common this season that they had with last offseason? They have first year head coaches.
right.
What is the difference between this offseason and last offseason? Why? Just hear me out. Why would New England break the bank this
This
season
year.
with the first year head coach and not last season? What is the difference between the first year head coach this season is the one last season? What's the difference here?
Hey,
Am I
we
missing
already
something?
know. We already know what time it is.
I can't say it enough on this podcast, and I don't even give a shit that I call him out for it. That is a racist organization, bro. That is a
hmm
racist organization, bro. Can that man, after one season for what?
Right.
This year, now you want to go all in? Now you want to spend
Mhm.
280 to 30, what, 200 some $1 million?
Right.
Now you want to do it?
I'm telling you. You ain't get that
Okay.
nothing. You ain't get that man nothing to play
You
with.
see that?
Real.
That's writing on the wall right there.
Mm.
That's just distasteful as it gets. But I think Fields is going to do all right though for the Jets. I think they're going to do all right, and I think they'll make the right moves. Got to solidify that line. You got to get that run game going. You control football games and you win football games when you control time of possession, clock management. You do that by successfully running the ball and good, stellar defensive play. And that's what they're going to aim to do.
That's it. I
I
like it.
don't know. I don't know about the playoffs though. Not year one.
Nah, not with Miami and Buffalo there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
they got to win 10 games, bro. That's gonna be too much.
Yeah.
Real. Depends on what Miami do because, like I said, they've been stacking up on their defense a little bit too. So I'm liking that shit.